Alright, today I'll show you how to set up the GhostBot version 16.2. So first I'm going to download the file off my server like I did with StealthBot. And you can download it off of codelang.com if you would rather. Once you get the file, go to the folder and extract the file here because it'll make a folder of its own. Alright, so then what you do is you go and you open ghost.cfg. If you can't see the .cfg, if all you see is ghost, then what you do is you go to Tools, Folder Options, View, and hide extensions for known file types. Make sure that's unchecked. Alright. And then you edit the file with any plain text editor. Most of this I already have configured though, but I'll show you. The bot log is where the bot will log all of the errors and stuff. It's kind of simple and plain. Language.cfg is where you can edit all the different outputs of commands and other stuff like that. The bot Warcraft 3 path should be default. If you're on a different system or anything like that, just make sure you change it to the right path. And the bot can now use the Frozen Throne or Reign of Chaos. So if you want to use Reign of Chaos, just put that as 0. Now, host port. This is very important. Most people don't really get through this much. The bot host port has to be different from your admin game port, because in this case I'm going to show you how to do that, and it has to be different from your Warcraft 3 port. So make sure that's different and make sure it's forwarded. I'm going to put max games at 1 because of my internet speed. Leave the trigger at the default. You can save replays or not, just replace the 0 with a 1. The Warcraft 3 version and the replay build number, those should still be the same for a while now until Blizzard updates their game. And the virtual name is the name of the bot when you're in the game lobby. So I'm just going to leave it at this color, which this color code right here is a blue color. And you can save games if a player disconnects if you want, or disable downloads if you'd like to, which I will do that for Dota. And I put the max downloaders at 1 again because of my speed, and I put the auto kick ping at 120. Good ping for Dota, maybe even less. And the IP blacklist file is just a text file of a bunch of IPs that are banned from the GhostBot sphere. And latency, I usually keep that at around 100, which is good for playing. The default on Warcraft 3 is 250, so that's usually why you would get a little bit of delay when you play games hosted like that. The default map is usually War and Roar, and I'll just leave it like that because we won't really need to change it. And the MOTD file is when a player joins the lobby, the words and up to a certain amount of lines in this file is what the players will see. Game loaded and game over, of course, is what they're going to see at the game load, after the game loads, and when the game's over. Alright, so I put admin game create at 1 and left the port at 6113. Make sure that is different from the Warcraft 3 port and from the bot's host port. And I only have one key, so that's why I'm doing this. And I left the game password at pass. We'll need that later. This should also stay the same. And you can create pretty much just like a small configuration for the auto host. And the database type, the only time you really need to put at MySQL is when you're going to do ghost stats, and all that configuration is right there. The Battle.net login server, that is at default US East, and they're all right here of what you would put there instead if you don't play on East. And you also have to change the server alias to what before .battle.net is. which in this case is USC's. When you input your keys, make sure there's no spaces after it. Make sure there's no spaces minus this one before, and also that there's no hyphens in your key. And the Battle.net username has to be created already. Password has to be the same. Make sure you put a space after. I'll leave the first channel at the default one because the bot's in the plan already. And the root admin I'll put at the bot's name and leave the trigger at default. The rest of the info should be fine, so you just save that